Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Mindful Monday. My name is B. Yowzy. I'm an LPC associate here at Frontera, being supervised by Dr. Richard Amiss.
I'm Dr. Sandra Baez. I'm the Behavioral Health Director here at Frontera Healthcare. Welcome, everybody.
Yes. And so today we're really going to be diving into boundaries in the workplace. But before we get started, I want us to take a moment to recognize our incredible partners. The Wellness Uncorked initiative is made possible through a partnership with the Texas Wine Auction and Frontera Healthcare Network. This initiative allows us to provide free group counseling classes, educational seminars like this Mindful Monday you're watching, health fairs, and more, all designed to support the well-being, especially mental health well-being of our community. Today, we're going to be diving into, as I said, boundaries in the workplace. And this is such an important subject, so let's dive right in. So a little bit before we get started, this is our agenda. So we're going to be talking about the importance of boundaries, types of boundaries and boundary styles, how to set boundaries, and establishing those work boundaries. So everything's going to work on top of one another. So what are boundaries? We hear this all the time, but really, what is it? So boundaries are limits and rules that you set for yourself in relationships. It's very important that you are doing this. So when managed well, boundaries can protect you and allow for new intimacy and new experiences.
And boundaries are really important to determine what is and what is not okay in a relationship, whether it could be friends, could be coworkers, could be partners, bosses, or family. They help us to build trust, safety, and respect in relationships.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's exactly right. So we're going to kind of take a pause and look at the types of boundaries. So there's a lot of different boundaries, but going through a lot of research, boundaries are emotional. So this is our thoughts, our feelings, our values. Physical, so personal space, body, privacy. Verbal, how you allow other people to talk to you and what is appropriate to discuss. Sexual, so consent, intimacy, and desires, and sexual touch. Material, so this is finances. So a lot of financials, monetary decisions, lending or giving things, that's just as important. And then time management. So this is management of how we're doing our time, limits on energy given to other people in the workplace or in our own personal lives. So this could be family members, children, etc. So we're kind of going to look at boundary styles and kind of spend some time here on this. So boundary styles. So we talked about the boundary types. So the boundary styles applies to all the boundary types that we just talked about. So we have porous, we have healthy, and we have rigid. What we really want to be in is that healthy, that right in the middle. So that is when a person with healthy boundaries can say no to others, but they're also open to intimacy and new experiences. So that's that healthy boundary that we really want to have. And then we have rigid. That's on the far right. A person with rigid boundaries keeps others at a distance. This offers protection and stability, but at the cost of intimacy and new experiences. So you may see someone who's maybe not as open to new experiences or maybe has a wall up to new people. They're not really give and taking, if that makes sense. And then our third, our porous. So this is a person who struggles to say no. This could be possibly our people pleasers or people who are really value the acceptance of others. This allows for intimacy, but often at the cost of their own wants and needs. So, Dr. Sandra, do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think that it is very important to understand that we all need to work with that in different settings, not only at workplace. I think like what we talked at the beginning, right? That's the key of having a healthy relationship. But I think that the biggest question that I always got during all these counseling years, right, is how we set those boundaries, how we do that, right? Because sometimes, like you mentioned before, if we're too rigid, we lose that flexibility. But at the same time, if we're too loose, right, we also not in the healthy spectrum. So how we do set those, right? So one of the key main keys I should say is plan ahead. Like, let's think about what you want to say. Let's practice to it, right? We sometimes go in the shower and kind of practice what we're gonna say in a meeting or in a difficult situation. That's exactly when I'm referring to when I said let's plan ahead. Let's compromise, right? Sometimes we are not in agreement in everything that we're going through, or maybe in a specific situation. So when it's appropriate, let's go ahead and listen and find out what is the other person, what are the needs, what are your needs, right? Here and there, I will say that we need to compromise. Compromise is not necessarily give it at all, but at the same time, like you mentioned, not be as rigid that we're not able to listen. Let's use a confident body language, right? The posture, the eye contact that we're having right now, right? Face the other person, make eye contact, use a steady tone of voice, right? If our voice is rambling or we're too loud, too quiet, or too soft, sometimes we're not delivering the right message. Be respectful, right? As far as we start yelling to others or putting people down or not saying the appropriate wording or using the appropriate phrases, we lose power. We lose our ability not only to control ourselves, but to also negotiate and be understanding.
No, that makes so much sense, Dr. Sandra, especially with a lot of the planning ahead. Like I always tell people, if there's something that's aggravating you at work, or maybe you want to talk to your manager or your supervisor, plan ahead. Don't just do it in the team meeting. Really think, okay, what is the best time? What does my agenda look like? Have I gotten my big projects out of the way and completed? And can I be effective and let my supervisor know, hey, I would like to speak to you about a couple of items. Like plan those ahead. Don't just say it in the middle of the lunch meeting or when really that's not the topic or that's not the open conversation that you're looking for.
And I'm glad that you bring that point across, because planning ahead also make you to realize what is the perfect situation or the best scenario to talk to that person, right? Some of us were better in a one-on-one situation, but maybe when we have been approached in a group setting, we get anxious and we give you a response that probably is not going to be the best one. So think a little bit about maybe your supervisor, your coworker, yourself, how you respond better, right? In a one-on-one setting or in front of everybody, right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and then being respectful. I always tell this from my kids to my adolescents to my adults. Respect goes a long way. Speak clearly, speak respectfully. We may have disagreements. We may have things that we really want to talk about, or maybe something that we're not happy with at work, but we always have to be respectful to our higher ups and those who we're speaking to. So then we also get that in turn, hopefully.
Absolutely. So precisely what we're talking, right? Here are some phrases about what to say and how to say it, right? At this moment, I could say, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. I can do that for you. Can you stay extra 3 hours after your shift? Sorry, but I can't do that for you. This is not acceptable when a boundary has been crossed, right? Maybe I have been not using the appropriate language to refer to you. Please don't do that. Don't open my door when you know that I'm in session, right? That is a classic example that we use here in the clinic. Or this is not going to work for me, like maybe skipping my lunch, maybe coming early, right? Not at this time. Maybe we're open later for a conversation. I like that a lot, because not at this time, I'm not closing completely the door. Just I'm telling you at this moment, that's not going to work for me, right? I have been decided not to. Sometimes we need to provide people time to reflect and, like you said, reconsider, go and plan ahead, and then we can use that phrase. Also, I don't want to do that. Something as simple as that, right? I don't want to do that. It is also acceptable when we are setting healthy boundaries. Any other phrase that you typically use in your daily basis?
Well, I really like the not this time, or I've decided to, because a lot of this, these are great phrases, but I think it's the tone of voice too. Like the tone of voice that you were using with me as an example, it wasn't high up, it wasn't super low, it was just very clear, direct. So for me, I personally, I've decided not to, because I think that puts more ownership of the decision you're making. And sometimes I don't want to. I like that one, but you really got to watch that tone of voice, because I can see that going really negative quickly with how, or the type of mind frame that we're at, where I don't want to, versus I don't really want to do that today. It can be But I like that I've decided not to.
I like that part of the ownership. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. And that's an important thing, right? Like with boundaries, we also need to own our feelings, our desires, our wishes, our emotions. So I think that I love that idea that you just mentioned.
Oh, the ownership.
The ownership part. It's very, very important when we are setting boundaries, right? Because we're talking about our needs, that they are important as other ones' needs too.
Yeah, no, I like that. Awesome. So now we're kind of going towards the end, establishing work boundaries. So, like we said, the use of no or alternatives if you feel overwhelmed or decline tasks, or offer realistic timelines. Instead of, I can't do this, say, I can try this on after project X is finished. So you're still letting them know what they're asking of you is important to you, but there's bigger projects that need to be completed per the agenda. Leverage technology, set do not disturbs on chat tools, maybe making sure you're really utilizing those work or those admin times within your work week. Update email signatures, so really making sure that you're honoring your time and making sure that it's accurate to the things that you have set. With coworkers, set limits on social time and gossip. I know we all like to talk to our coworkers, but it's really saying, hey, how can I honor their time and their work week, but also how can I make sure I'm making sure my things are being done appropriately. Non-work related interruptions, so clearly state when you're in focus mode. With clients, establish set communication hours. So I know in the field of being therapist, I feel like sometimes they think we're open 24/7, but really as therapists or mental health providers, making sure that you establish with your clients, I can answer you between the 8 to 5 window, and it may be 24 to 48 hours before I respond. So really making sure that your clients are understanding of the time frame that you have set. And then with your boss, your supervisor, your director, frame boundaries around productivity and quality. So something that I've really learned is show your evidence, show your data, show your reports, and explain, hey, I may need to take more time on this task, or I can finish this task in a shorter amount of time. So then everyone is aware and has the data to back up why you're making these claims. So then everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, and I like to add to that setting clear expectations, right? Like we talk about clients and sometimes coworkers, and you guys have been heard me saying that. I mean, please don't call me on weekends unless it's absolutely necessarily, because you're turning a switch off, right? I'm getting out of my personal life, coming back to the professional, and we enjoy company of some of our peers and coworkers, but the reality is that we also need to have that boundary of having time off, and we try to honor that here at Frontera, and I hope that in other scenarios, guys, you are able to do that as well.
Oh, no, that's awesome. So now we're kind of going towards the end of our presentation. So if you're looking and you're ready to take the next step in prioritizing your mental health, we invite you to attend our Thrive Connection groups. These are available free through Wellness Uncorked. These classes will be held by Frontera's professional counselor associates, so Caitlin and I, or either Dr. Sandra or anyone else in the office that's available to do those, and to their immediate family members working in hospitality, service, or retail industries. Frontera also offers individual counseling and medical services, both in person and virtual, so don't let the distance stop you. We take a lot of different insurances, and we offer a sliding scale, so do not think that cost should deter you from getting the help you need. We're here to work with you. If you would like to learn more, you can call our behavioral health front desk number at 830-362-2185 or on fronterahn.org. If you found today's video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to see more Mindful Monday so you never miss a presentation, and we will be live on the first Monday of every month. We appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you on the next Mindful Monday. If you have any questions or comments below, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and we'd like to chat with you and answer any of your questions, and have a wonderful Mindful Monday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.